Warm good morning to everyone. As you have known about my introduction, I am Dr. Tahreem Ahmed. I am working as a senior registrar in Fazaya. Then, what were the material methods used and what was the actual performance behind it? The results and obviously the conclusion. COPD is not a uncommon disease right now. Like 10 to 15 years back, maybe it was an unheard thing. But with increasing pollution, population, and the use of wood fuels, and especially as I work with PF hospitals, so there are aviation fuels as well. So people develop COPD at much higher rate as we expect. It is an important public health challenge and the major cause of chronic morbidity and mortality worldwide. COPD has a prevalence of about 2.1% as per NIH History 2022. And the burden is seen to be increased by projected to be 2030 that about 4 million people will be diagnosed with COPD in the coming years. So we clinicians and respiratory physicians mostly focus on the respiratory challenges followed by the respiratory complications, for example, pneumothorax and cachexia, shortness of breath, and other infectious causes, infective exacerbations, which are faced by the COPD population. But there is one aspect which is actually missing, and we literally, being a clinician myself, sometimes we just overlook that aspect, which is cognitive impairment or the cognition delay which these patients are facing. Recent studies have shown that almost 60% of the population is now facing and is developing COPD changes along with the executive function, memory changes, and cognition delay. And this impacts vice versa on their crucial outcomes like perception, working, and even daily life activities. This also affects their hospitalization stay and so on. The reason behind obviously COPD exacerbations most commonly leads to hypoxia as well as hypercapnia, which causes some sort of work on the cellular level, in the mental level, and then it causes a cognition delay as far as the disease is progressing. So what were the aims and objectives of our study? We aim to get an overview of the prevalence of mild to moderate and severe cognitive impairment, and we wanted to set a tool, or we wanted to look if there is any tool for early diagnosis of COPD and early detection of cognitive impairment in those patients. This is important as cognitive impairment causes physical, social, and then psychomotor dependence, which increases the financial burden of the caregiver as well, and increases the dependency of the individuals in their daily life. As we see that the patients which come in COPD group E, they are more frail, they are almost always dependent, and not only for their physical and respiratory causes, sometimes there is a cognitive delay. So what were the material methods used in our study? Our study design was a descriptive cross-section study, and it was performed in pulmonology OPD of Fazaya Lutfa Medical College, Karachi. The duration of our study was 6 months from May to November 2023. 67 patients were selected by non-consecutive sampling and by using WHO calibrated method. Demographic details of the patients were taking like addiction, what sort of addiction, smoking, shisha or any other thing, vaping. Also they were asked about the exposures, for example, if they are having any occupational exposure, or they are cooking on wood or aviation fuels as well. And as well as there was history was taken about their BMI, so that we get a complete picture of what is the patient is all about. What was the inclusion criteria? Patients known case of COPD, either new or old. Informed consent was given to the patient, and the procedure or the other method was explained to them. And then age 25 to 65. Exclusion criteria: history of stroke, age above 65 years, any known causes of dementia or cognition delay, and patients presenting within 1 week of exacerbation. Because it was an OPD based study, so we tried not to include those patients who were like within 1 week of their exacerbation, COPD exacerbation, even mild or more severe. What we did was that we performed spirometry on the patients. We did spirometry pre and post bronchodilator, and as we get information like FEV1, we graded them in gold grades, like gold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then MMRC grade was also asked about their daily life activities, and we all know what is MMRC grade, how much they can walk, and if they have a dyspnea even at rest, or if it is affecting their daily life activity, and if they are not able to go outside of their home, which is the 0 to 4 scale of MMRC. Then MOCA, which was actually new for me as well, because I am working in an environment where I have close connection with other multidisciplinary doctors. So there was a neurologist involved, and her expert opinion were taken. And this MOCA is Montreal Cognitive Assessment Score for cognition. There are other scores as well, like Rapid Screening Tool and Mini Mental Score, but MOCA score has more sensitivity and more specificity. Score of 30 was total, and the score less than 25 was considered to be abnormal. Patients, because we have gathered all this information like FEV1, MMRC, so we grouped also the patients in A, B and E according to the ABE assessment tool as per GOLD guidelines. So what is actually MOCA score? As you can see here, so this is a score. This is actually in English for your understanding, but this MOCA performer is available in almost every local language. And most of the patients we encountered were obviously which cannot understand English properly, so we had it translated in Urdu as well. Its Urdu performer is available online. So this included this spatial organization, this remember or recall, memory, attention, language, and then after the patient, a little small calculations were involved, and then got the date, time, and orientation of the patient at the end. This made a total score of 30. And as I already mentioned, it has sensitivity of 80 to 100% and specificity of 50 to 76%. Then patients between mild, moderate, and severe cognitive go to MOCA scoring. Patients who scored 26 were labeled as normal, 25 to 18 were labeled mild, 17 to 10 moderate, and less than 10 were severe. Total patients were 67, male 55, 12 female, age mean was 49 plus minus 10, high age group illustrator of previous exposure of cold were 49 patients were smokers and 29 were having exposure to cold wood or other radiation. So these were the results. 25 patients, which made 32%, was normal cognition, 22 patients, 23.9% mild, 16 patients were having moderate, and 4 patients were having severe cognitive impairment like MOCA score of less than 10. So this is a very good table which shows, as we can see, that mostly patients were falling from moderate group were having highest number of the patients in them as gold grade is concerned. And in COPD group E, most of the patients even having mild, moderate, severe cognition impairments were present in group E. So this shows that as the disease is advancing and the patient is having more and more exacerbation, his cognition is going to delay more and more. So conclusion, our study reveals that cognitive impairment is linked with COPD, especially patients having higher age group and with more severe disease. We tried to highlight the burden of the cognitive impairment in COPD patients, and early detection is important as this can help in turn in their physical, social and psychomotor dependence. We suggest to have more studies and to design a more simple tool to identify it at earlier stage. Multiple international studies have shown that early intervention like pulmonary rehabilitation seems to slow down the process and it improves outcome. Unfortunately, I cannot find any study about pulmonary rehabilitation in our setup, and also I cannot offer that to our patients so that it could have more impact. But international studies have shown that pulmonary rehabilitation is very good for COPD patients and it helps in declining the impairment in their cognitive impairment. These are the references. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Taneem. If there are any questions, please ask Dr. Taneem.